Hello everyone, welcome back to another interview after who knows how long it's been. Today, we are joined by the MSM Composer King. So, yeah, I'm very excited to do this. Composer King's very cool, probably one of the best known composers in the community, which is very cool.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I make content based on the game MSM Composer. Yeah, that's pretty obvious considering my name. Mostly what I do is just covers of different songs. That's mainly my focus point right now. And yeah.
Like, I gotta commend you
Thank you,
on
man.
how much effort you put into your stuff. Like, the panning, the audio balancing, like the reverb and like all the effects you add to literally every single detail is just it's crazy. I don't know if I'd have the patience for that.
Thank you.
And like
Yeah, it certainly takes quite a bit of time.
and then I was even more blown away when you the other month or week or whatever when you announced that you were able to get a computer. I was like, no way you did that all on a phone. I was like shook.
Yeah, man, I'm so grateful that I was able to get a computer. I could finally make my videos more high quality.
Oh yeah, definitely. So with that being said, like always, I have some questions prepared. So I guess we might as well get into the first question, which is kind of a typical question that I like to ask. But what inspired you to start making videos on YouTube? And along with this, like why did you choose MSM Composer specifically?
Yeah, so basically I started making YouTube videos because, I thought to myself, what is there to lose? So I just started uploading videos. So I was like, I want to be a part of that community, and here I am now. I'm some composer specifically. So actually, interestingly enough, I was originally gonna do like original My Singing Monsters content and no composer stuff, but I didn't really have a lot in the game, so I thought, I can't make much content off of here. So I just
Yeah.
went over to MSM Composer. I found it really fun. I started making my first covers, and it's history from there, man.
I don't know if I put this question in here, so I just want to ask it just to be safe. But when did you like discover like MSM Composer specifically, or like Composer Island? Either one.
Yeah, so I remember when Composer Island first came out, like a long time ago in the main game, and then they made the app a couple, like I think
2018.
Yeah. And I took a break from MSM entirely around 2018 or 2020. And then I came back during the pandemic. I was like, I'm really bored. Let's just try out this composer stuff. And that's how I mainly got hooked. It was in quarantine. But I
Yeah.
had nothing else to do. I just found a passion for it, man.
I remember the day Composer Island came out. Man, that was
Oh,
something
man.
else.
Yeah. I wasn't too interested in it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. What singular video of yours specifically is your personal favorite?
Oh, this question, it's up in the air, man. It's either between the Continent cover, my Magical Nexus cover. Those two, I really enjoyed making them. Making it all come together into this one huge orchestra. It's so cool. I love it, man.
I assume that the continent probably kind of has a special place in your heart because it was kind of like your unofficial last video, kind of in a way, before you moved on to the Dream era and whatnot.
I love the Continent, man. Especially that last verse.
Oh
It gets
yeah,
me in the feels.
definitely.
I feel like the only thing that the Continent could improve on is probably the mixing of the monsters.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the
Because in some
seasonals,
parts,
but that's different.
oh yeah, yeah, the seasonals, man. There's something else.
I mean, we started off so strong with Punkleton and Yule, but like as MPG says, the squeaker squawkers invaded. Uh-oh. I mean, they're tolerable in
Yeah.
my opinion. Just you're not the best.
I actually have a very hot take on the seasonals. I enjoy them. Even the squeaker squawkers, man. I mean, it kind of portrays the continent as, like the monster's first song, and hearing those high-pitched vocals in the song really solidify that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can only expect so much out of a child.
Just barely born, hatched out of the egg.
Honestly, yeah. My personal opinion is that, I mean, Smoochel is almost unbearable. That's my opinion, but like, Blabbit I can tolerate. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. Hula also isn't that bad. I just feel like she was done dirty. Like, I get what they were doing with the, oh no, Cybop took her verse and whatnot, but like, I don't know. I didn't really care for like your second track because it sound very mawkish or something. I don't know, but that's my personal opinion. Like, Chipmunk wise, I don't think it's bad whatsoever. For like the longest time, I didn't even realize there was like a chipmunk effect on it. So in that aspect, it sounds good, but like the tracks it has like are just kind of mid in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you.
I know you've kind of had your moments where you express this like in a community tab or whatnot, but do you feel constricted when it comes to the content you make? Because I know like covering like the newest monsters and doing all of that can be like, it gets repetitive, I would believe.
Honestly, about a year ago in the summer, I started to get really bored of making like these videos of like the monster, and they're kind of like very repetitive, like you said. So I took a little break. I came back. I started to find the passion again. The summer of 2024, I started to feel like kind of drained out again, but I worked through it, man, and I kind of find myself a good schedule. Uploading one new cover every month. I don't really feel that constricted anymore, and I'm happy for that.
I think what definitely helps is like not pushing out a lot of content frequently. Like you said, once a month seems like a good amount of time to work on your craft and like kind of just focus on each of the monsters and like, kind of just, it gives you time basically.
Now it's always quality over quantity, they say.
Yeah, honestly, definitely. Kind of another pretty basic question, but how and when did you discover My Singing Monsters?
I discovered My Singing Monsters when I actually, well, let me start at the beginning of the story. In, I think, December of 2012, I got my first ever iPad, and I was just super hyped up. I never had a device, and I started downloading all of these just random games, and one of them just so happened to be My Singing Monsters, and I was just in love with like the format of the game, collecting all these different monsters and having them all come together to form something really amazing and really big. It's just like a really cool concept to me.
I don't know what it is about. Well, maybe I do, but like I don't exactly know what makes MSM feel so different from the rest, Like I tried out like Dragon City at one point, and like it didn't really stick with me the same way that MSM did. It's probably the musical aspect, just like the whole idea of like everything comes together to make a song, and that's what made it different from all these other mobile games that are like collect them and breed them and stuff. So I feel like that's kind of why there was like backlash of sorts when they released the Colosseum, because it really felt like that was their way of trying to mimic the other mobile games that are similar to them, which really didn't encapsulate the idea of MSM whatsoever. Because I mean, still there's the whole like music, like fighting with music aspect, but like it really wasn't what we all know as MSM. So that's probably the main reason why people weren't the biggest fans of it, and why I personally like MSM because of the music aspect. So yeah, kind of like what you said maybe.
Yeah, MSM certainly has this unique charm that I think no other game has.
What is your favorite and least favorite MSM island?
Oh, okay. Let me just say right off the bat, my least favorite island, it's a very basic answer. It's definitely Party Island, man.
Yeah.
It's way too repetitive. It's way too empty. It could use some work. I think that's the only bad island in the whole franchise. I think the rest of them are pretty good. And as for my most favorite, it's honestly between the three most recent ones. So Magical Nexus, Ethereal Workshop, or Mythical Island. Out of those three, I think I would say Magical Nexus is probably my favorite one. Yeah, I really just love like the whole vibe it gives off. I think it really represents the magical element.
If I wasn't such a Sugar Fam head, Nexus would probably be my favorite island. It can take a very notable second place.
Yeah, man. Very beautiful design too.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is. I love the like fountains and stuff, and like the lighting, I guess you could say.
And all the butterflies too.
It's such a cool aesthetic.
And it's so crazy how like they just released that at the end of March.
And every monster all at once too.
I know, man. I thought it was gonna come in waves, but they just put it all in.
That's how I lost all my diamonds. Not actually, but like,
Same, man, same.
It was so worth it though. Kind of going along with that question, what is your favorite and least favorite monster? Let's say it's your second favorite monster, since we all know Krillby's your favorite.
I honestly have never thought about it. If I would choose though, I would probably say, oh man, I have no idea. It's probably between Flugel. I think all the Flugel sounds are just peak. It's either Flugel or the Epic Woolboxes. Their sounds are very creative.
Oh yeah, they are. They kind of got a bit of everything. Beats and
Yeah.
melodies and all that. I really
And
love Gold Island Epic Wellbox. Sorry to intervene, but he's so cool. I love the design especially.
yeah, and the way it transforms throughout all the natural elements, it's just so amazing. My least favorite monster though, I actually don't have a least favorite monster. All the goofy ones, all the silly ones, all the good ones, they all contribute something to the song. But if I were to remove one monster from an island, it would probably be, I want to say Amber Island Souza, to be honest.
Haven't people said like she has like a wrong note or something in one of her tracks there?
Yeah, I think she does too.
Weird.
It's bearable though.
It's not really noticeable, I'd say. But kind of going off that question, why is Krillby your favorite monster?
Krillby is my favorite monster because I have such nostalgic memories when it came out. I was just super hyped to get it, and Clamble when it first came to Dawn of Fire together. I loved its sound on Cave Island. That's about it, man. It's just nostalgia. The sound is so good.
Yeah.
And the design is like, it's pretty cute in my opinion.
And it's a mystery of like what it is specifically. I mean, obviously it's like a krillfish, but like a bird too? I don't really know.
Yeah, it's like a chicken, a bilby, a krill, a whole bunch of other stuff.
I remember when Repetilla released, I remember like getting like the in-game notification being like, we need your help to name this new monster, and I was like, oh, I can't think of anything. I don't know how I remember it, honestly. It was something else. What were the hardest and easiest monsters to remake in MSM Composer? This can also be like the hardest island or easiest island too, if you so wish.
The easiest monsters to make, it's not generally one monster I can think of. It's mainly just like simple percussionists like Tring, Juggler, monsters like that, Bobo. Those are really simple to make. The hardest monsters, they're actually the complete opposite, like just really complicated percussion monsters. I have 3 that I remember specifically being like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna do this? Number 3 is Oogity. Very complicated, man. It has 4 tracks, which is just like, what? How? I just couldn't do it, man.
I understand that so much because I literally did Oogity for the player part, and
Yeah,
I don't know how many times I listened to his tracks. It was crazy.
I was so impressed when I saw that. My second hardest is Charisma. It has 4 tracks as well, man. Crazy percussion. I don't know how I went through it. And the synth noises I just completely left behind in the actual song because how am I supposed to do that, man? Most hardest monster I remember. I don't know why it was so hard, but even though it only has 2 tracks, but it was the Fire Oasis Woolbox with all the synth noises in the background and all the crazy dubstep. I think it took me about, I want to say like 6 hours to get it completely done. It was a nightmare, man.
So I'm assuming Ethereal Workshop was a pretty hard island for you to remake.
Yeah, and like when new monsters were coming out too, I just had to change them up a lot. It was crazy, but it's over now, man.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's over. I'm really excited to see what they do for the next island, whenever that might be.
It really has as much hype as the workshop.
I loved how much like popularity the island gave to the game, you know? It kind of just became like, like the Eureka track kind of just became like an iconic like melody. What inspired you to create the Composer virus lore?
Oh, I love this question, man. When I was little, in about 3rd grade, started writing little books with just like some pieces of paper and a stapler. I wrote like 30-page books. I just kind of stopped after a while because it got kind of boring. And I started my YouTube channel back again, and Something Is Wrong With My series started. The comments, they started creating like their own little story, how this is all happening because of like some sort of virus. And I thought like, that's really cool. So I just, I was thinking up of ideas to expand upon that, and I was just creating along the way, and it was just a really fun time. And it was just a passion project for the channel, and I really liked how it turned out.
Yeah, I've been intrigued with, you know, the whole idea that Voidcorn is kind of like seen as the villain, but was in the end of the year, you know. I like those type of stories, I guess. What tips would you give to someone who wants to start using MSM Composer?
If you want to start using MSM Composer, honestly, it's a very easy app to navigate. It's not very complicated. I think the only thing that you really need to get into the game is creativity, man. Like I said, there's such limited things you could do in the game, but if you capitalize off of those things, you can create such awesome things. The different instruments that you have. It's a very creative game. In about like, I'd say a couple days, you could learn like all the time signature stuff and like the key signatures and like the tempo. If you're getting into it, just like have like a creative outset on it.
I didn't include this question, but I kind of wish I did. So if you don't have like a good answer or anything for it, then I mean, I can't blame you. I think about this a lot, as you probably kind of know, but like, is there anything that you would personally like to see changed about the app or like added to the app?
Yeah, honestly, if I could add one update to the game, it would probably be to include signature changes between the song. In the song, you could just change the time signature. That's one of them I really want to see in the future. And also just having more monsters, you know, because I feel like it's very limited, the sounds that you could pick from. They could probably add the fire monsters would be good, or the rest of the ethereal monsters are also some very good choices that they could do.
Alright, so for the final question, what tips do you have for aspiring MSM YouTube creators?
If you want to become an MSM YouTube creator, honestly, man, you need to have a positive outlook. There's going to be haters, you know. That's just the thing that's guaranteed with the YouTube deal. Just ignore them. You need to, like what I said with the MSM Composer game, to have a very creative mind, because it's actually surprisingly hard to think up of new ideas for videos. The fact that you need to be doing that constantly is like, it's crazy. Also, don't do it for the money. Like, if you're doing it just for the money, I mean, it's gonna show that like you're not doing it for the love of the game, you know. You're not doing it for a passion, and that's really going to show through your content. Just know that you're always going to have ups and downs on your YouTube journey. It's okay to take breaks if you like, man. Yeah, that's about all I can say on that.
Yeah, I think it's not only for the Composer app that like it needs creativity. I really think that the MSM community as a whole really like strives on creativity, because it's just a lot of like, you know, kind of like doing your own thing and kind of like creating new things for the community to enjoy, you know? Because, I mean, some of the biggest things in the community are like the fan-made stuff, fan-made islands, fan-made monsters, you know, what-ifs, predictions, all that. And it's definitely the same thing for the Composer app as well, of course, because you kind of have to have things you want to do with the app, you know? Write an original song, recreate a pre-existing song in your own little way, have a little bit of creative liberties with that type of stuff. So just like you said, it just requires a lot of creativity and kind of just being yourself, I suppose, with what you want to do.
Overall, it's an awesome thing. If you want to do it, it's awesome to do.
It's so fun if you kind of have a knack for music. I couldn't recommend it more, really. Sure, I use it so much, but like it's because I really do like the app, and I love seeing all the things that other people create, and it's very fun. It's a very nice space to have fun, really, with music. With that being said, that would be all the questions I have for you today, so thank you, CK, for doing this. If you have any closing thoughts, then, I mean, I suppose now would be the time.
Nah, man, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you for having me, man. It was so fun talking.
Yeah, thank you for making the time. As far as my knowledge serves me, I would think that you're probably the biggest composer YouTuber that we have, which is really crazy. That's awesome.
I'm so grateful for that. Just seeing the content go from like 1 view to 100 views to 1,000 views. It's so rewarding to see, man, you know. It's awesome to see the MSM Composer community grow.
That's kind of one of my reasons I like making the videos, because one of my main hopes for that one day that I might post my final video, hopefully not anytime soon, just to get that clear, is just to inspire other people to kind of start their little journey sharing their music they make, and just, you know, having people know that it can be fun to make music and all that. So kind of just, that's my hope for what I do on this platform.
Same as well.
Thank you again for joining me. It was very nice doing this.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, man. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, with that being said, I hope all of you enjoyed, and I will see you all later. See ya.